All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter today, and this is Chatter with Statter. And it looks like we've got some folks in saying aloha, Shock being the first one. But the second one in is Terry in Scotland, subscribing with a Tier 2 45-month subscriber. So appreciate that, Terry. Terry probably came in maybe with the raid, but then again, maybe not now that I look at it. But it looks like Katie's Aura is here right on Terry's heels. So that leads me to believe there could have been a raid, but it was a secret raid or something like that. Maybe not an official raid. Anyway, we've got Elaine in the house as well. And let's see here. Who else we get? We get Kenny from the Cove. Excellent. We're going to talk about Kenny in a little bit. Let's see here. We have got E-Music saying aloha to everybody. And it's okay, Elaine, to be K for a bit. I get it. It's still weekend. It's still chore time. It's still, the time to get those weekend tasks off of your list, etc., etc. And Terry, oh my goodness, thank you so much for that 1,000 biddies. You know what, Terry? I'm not saying it to encourage you because I definitely don't want it, but I'm going to call your 1,000 biddies 10,000 biddies because that's all I see whenever it comes out. It's 10,000 biddies. Sure, it's not, but we're going to call it 10,000 biddies because that's what it always looks like. It hits my brain as 10,000. So, but one biddy, 1,000 biddy, 10,000 biddy. I appreciate any and all of them. And speaking of things I appreciate, a couple of you have slipped me some money in my PayPal account. I don't know if you want to be named or not, but assuming you do not, I want to thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. And that is right, Shock. This woman is a financial professional. Yeah. Did I ever tell you about the time when I paid $11,000 on behalf of a client instead of $1,100? Yeah, I don't like to talk about that time. That time did happen, though. Luckily, I was able to stop it before it happened, but, yeah, I did that. So, possibly a little dyslexic. Could be. I have actually thought that about myself on more than one occasion. There's a lot of neurodivergent things that the more I learn about neurodivergence, the more I'm like, I feel like my path might be slightly divergent, but, I don't have the diagnoses to go with it, so I will not claim the title. And Darlene, let's see here. Aloha, Mad Statter. We're on the road heading back from Madison with a big family get-together barbecue, so we won't be in the chat. No problem, Darlene. In fact, I'm actually maybe a little bit happy to hear. Well, I'm very happy that you checked in because I noticed that Milwaukee area of Wisconsin got hit with, in parts of it, like 12 inches of rain last night. And I was just worried whether or not you even had power. I honestly, truly didn't expect to see you today because of various and assorted weather-related issues. So A, I'm glad to hear that I was very wrong about that and weather-related issues aren't really troubling you. And B, I'm super stoked to find out why you won't be here. Because like I said, I wasn't expecting you for awful reasons, but it sounds like you won't be here for awesome reasons. So there we have it. And exactly, fingers move too fast and the clicks add zeros. Oh gosh. Elaine, you maybe know my fingers exactly. And E-Music, good to know that you don't have the same problems in northern Wisconsin as the southern end did, because I was scrolling through headlines, etc. today, and it looks like parts of southern Wisconsin and like Iowa and all the Midwest area. I don't even know if Iowa. I don't know why I said Iowa, because I don't think Iowa touches on. Anyway, lots of rain, big storms in that area, and so anyone who is in that area who's here, I'm stoked that you're here, that you're able to be here. And Pacola T, good to see you. We're also going to be talking about Pacola T a little bit later because she is busy this weekend doing all sorts of things, and of course, she sent us some pictures, and I will show you a picture, and then we can maybe guess where in the world is Pacola T, because that is our fun game to play here at Chatter with Statter. And exactly, Kenny. Squirrel? I heard squirrel. Who said squirrel? What squirrel? Where? And there we go. Darlene coming in with the reality. We had 10 inches of rain and some flooding. We did lose power for a while too. When we left this morning, we still didn't have any internet power back up yet. Right. There you go. And yeah, Elaine, yes, I was in accounting for 30 years. Glad I'm out of there. Oh, Elaine. Taxes. 25 years. I wish I was out of there. But you know what they say, only two things in life that you can count on, death and taxes. I disagree. I think there's three things you can count on: death, taxes, and the need for plumbing. Those are the three things you can count on. But before we get on our county count list and our accounting from all the things we can count on, why don't we get the party started, shall we? Let's do it. Shock. Only two things make life worthwhile. That's true love and homegrown tomatoes. Well, you know, I gotta tell you, Shock, I have to disagree. The last time I ate a homegrown tomato, well, you know, I mean, actually, now that I think about it, maybe, I just am, all about the life that isn't worthwhile. Because when I had a homegrown tomato last time, my body's reaction to it was quick and vicious and fierce. And let's just say it did not allow for such shenanigans to remain inside the body for more than, 20 seconds. And as far as, true love, yeah, I'll know. Okay, sure. But hey, Verity Hunt, good to see you. There's only better homegrown tomatoes. You know, I used to love homegrown tomatoes, and I used to be able to appreciate what you're saying. Because if you're going to eat a tomato, it better be homegrown. But I guess the key phrase for me is, if you're going to eat a tomato, tomatoes and I have grown into a very, we don't get along very well. Not even close. And it looks like Andre's in the house, gifting subs right and left. Thank you so much, Andre. And you have organic tomatoes that look delicious, but I haven't eaten them as of yet. Yeah, my boss cooks. No, well, she does cook, but she grows so many different tomatoes every year. And I harvest the tomatoes for her, and the tomatoes look really good. But I know that the last time I ate the tomatoes from her yard, I ended up with stomach cramps and vomiting and just awfulness. And it wasn't even like the tomato got into me to go through me to give me these things. It literally got to the top of my stomach, and my stomach said, "Oh, you shall not pass. You shall not pass." And so it didn't pass. It turned around and went right back home to the garden. Exactly. Molly and tomatoes have a contentious relationship. Now, when they're cooked, that's a different story. I can do them a little bit when they're cooked. Ketchup doesn't kill me, but those fresh tomatoes that you want to slice real thin and put on buttered toast and have salt and pepper on them, you know those ones? The ones that even to this day make my mouth drool because it sounds so delicious. Yeah, no, not gonna happen. So for all of you out there who have fresh grown, homegrown tomatoes, I want you to eat a piece of tomato toast for me. Toasted bread, butter, sliced tomato, as thick or as thin as you want, some salt and some pepper. That's all I ask. And you can say, "This is Molly eating it. I'm eating this for Molly." Or Mad Statter, however you want to call me. And thank you so much, Andre, for those 400 biddies. We are on to level 2 hype train. Oh my god, we are just chewing along. And all her avocados belong to me. All her tomatoes belong to me. And what else ends in an O that belongs to me? Avocado, tomato. Tomatillo. Tomatillo belong to you. Risotto. Well, risotto. I can eat risotto. Can eat tomatoes, but not bread, not gluten-free. Okay, fair enough. Then just eat your tomatoes however you want. But if anybody can eat bread, one little slice of toast with some butter and tomato and salt and pepper, wow, that's just a tasty little treat right there. Until it's not. And it's not for me, but yeah, exactly, Shock. I do miss the BLT. Right, yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, we've got risotto, we've got pesto. I thought that we were just talking about vegetables that ended O. And Elaine, I slice tomatoes. Well, now, I slice tomatoes are a completely different thing than tomatoes. No, that's not true. I slice tomatoes so thin, my body doesn't like tomatoes very much, too. Yeah, I used to do that as well. But then even the thin, it just didn't work for me. But keep on keeping on, Elaine. I know the good fight. And tortilla, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Oh, that would work. That would work very well. That would work as long as you get a little bit of mayonnaise on there, because mayonnaise with the tomato and the bacon, so tasty. Gosh, it's only 15 minutes into the show, and we're already talking about food. That's so weird, isn't it? Not really. And E-Music, you can do corn tortillas. Yes. That's generally what I live off of, is the corn tortilla as well. And like broccolio. And could I eat a Mater sandwich with store-bought tomatoes? I don't know, Kenny, because I don't usually like store-bought tomatoes. So I generally, they aren't worth my effort usually. So I have not tried them. I do not know. And you guys, actually, speaking of broccolio, apparently in Spain, no, Italy, I literally just read this today. Trail Dust, you just got here in time for the bacon. Yes. Well, and Elaine, your dad made us eat tomatoes, but I slathered thick mayo more than the tomatoes. Yeah, exactly. But okay, you guys, so now, I like broccoli. I appreciate broccoli. I enjoy broccoli, but a lot of people do not like broccoli. And for those of you who do not like broccoli, this is the news story for you. I don't have any pictures or anything. It doesn't really matter. The reality is, in Italy, a guy just died from eating a broccoli sandwich. Now, first off, what the is a broccoli sandwich? I don't know. But apparently it was a broccoli and sausage sandwich. Once again, what? But he died from the broccoli, not the sausage. He got food poisoning. He got botulism. He got botulism so bad that he died. And I mean, this is awful, right? But here's the deal. The broccoli also poisoned 9 other people. So, if and when you don't like broccoli, what I can tell you now is, you now have an excuse. You can say, in all reality, broccoli kills people. Broccoli kills people. And Andre, thank you so much for those 400 biddies. And no, Verity, it wasn't salmonella, it was botulism. And apparently, and this is how the article was worded, and I'm very confused about it, but apparently the cure for botulism, or not like the cure, but the antidote, I guess, they refer to the botulism antidote as an anti-venom, which implies to me that botulism has a venom? I don't know enough about this, but what I do know is in Italy, if you go to the hospital with botulism, none of the hospitals there have the medicine to take care of it. The medicine is so rare and important that the Ministry of Health is the only place that you can get the medicine. And they'll fly that medicine out to you. Italy's not that big of a country, so they can do this, I guess. I don't know, dude. Somebody died, so maybe they need to rethink this. But But yeah, it's in such a limited supply and so rare that they actually keep it at the Ministry of Health and they fly it out to the hospital to fix the botulism poisoning. Now, the one dude, he died. I guess it hit him so quick. There was no sending him to hospital to fix anything. He was dead before he even got to the hospital. But the 9 other people are being treated with what they consider an what the article kept referring to as an anti-venom. Okay, which caught my eye. It was very strange, and I thought you can get rid of it with fresh lemon juice. Well, Elaine, I have no idea. I don't know a lot about botulism. I just know that botulism is the thing that you're most worried about when you home can your food. And if you're gonna get somebody sick but from home canning, it's generally gonna be botulism poisoning. But other than that, I don't really know a lot about it. However, and Kenny, exactly, in my entire 59 years of life, I've never been harmed by a donut. Just saying, stupid broccoli. Right, and so seriously, guys, if you don't like broccoli, this is the news story for you. Wear it like a badge of honor. I will never die of botulism brought on by broccoli consumption like this guy in Italy did. But Terry in Scotland coming in with the real thing. The primary treatment for botulism is botulinum, I don't know how to say that, antitoxin. Okay, well, see, antitoxin makes way more sense, but the article kept calling it anti-venom, and I'm like, really? So, antitoxin, which prevents the toxin from causing further harm by neutralizing free botulinum toxin in the bloodstream before it binds to nerve cells. This antitoxin is most effective when administered early in the course of illness, ideally within 24 to 48 hours of symptom onset, as it can stop the progression of paralysis and prevent respiratory compromise. However, antitoxin does not reverse paralysis that has already occurred. And acid is preventative. Lemon juice is another acid. Right, but I don't think it fixes it, though. Right? And, let's see here. Donuts have holes in them, so you can't even choke on them, says Trail Dust. Absolute wisdom right there. Trail Dust knows exactly what's up. And Terry in Scotland continues, botulism is a rare and potentially fatal illness caused by, botulinum toxin, which is produced by the bacterium Clostridium botulinum, whatever the heck. The disease begins with weakness, blurred vision, feeling tired, and trouble speaking. This may then be followed by weakness in the arms, chest muscles, and legs. Vomiting, swelling of the abdomen, and diarrhea may also occur. The disease does not usually affect consciousness or cause a fever. Well, I don't know, man. This dude in Italy, he died like almost on the spot, and they're blaming it on the broccoli that had the botulism toxin. Apparently, Italy's going through a major botulism outbreak right now, and I don't really somebody else died by eating contaminated guacamole at a street festival. Like, I don't really understand how. I feel like it's just a coincidence because I don't know. I don't understand. All I know is they're blaming this dude's death on eating broccoli, contaminated with botulism. And so, for my friends out there who do not like broccoli, I love broccoli. But if you don't, I encourage you to use this excuse to argue why you will not eat any more broccoli. Just pro tip, keep it up your sleeve. That's all. And Andre coming in with other potential treatments. Research suggests that 3,4-DAP, an FDA-approved drug, may reverse some botulism symptoms in animal models. According to Woke Forest University School of Medicine, purging techniques in foodborne botulism, techniques like vomiting and administering medications to stimulate bowel movements may be used to clear the digestive system of the toxin botulinum. Thank you, Kenny. And Trail Dust, so eating Italian food is dangerous. I'm thinking that eating Italian food from a street vendor in Italy might be where the danger comes in. Because here's the deal. do we even believe in broccoli sandwiches in the United States? I mean, for real. Have you guys ever heard of a broccoli sandwich? A broccoli sandwich. A broccoli sandwich. Who's heard of that? I love broccoli. I love sandwiches. I've never heard of a broccoli sandwich, and frankly, I don't really think it sounds very good. But there you go. And let's see here. Elaine, I'm gonna steam broccoli and no raw vegetables. Honestly, to tell you the truth, raw vegetables really are some of the most dangerous foods you can eat. That's where a lot of the massive foodborne illnesses come from. And in fact, in China and other parts of Southeast Asia, you might notice that when you get things served to you, like say a bunch of egg rolls, they're served on like lettuce leaves, a bed of lettuce, and it looks like it's raw lettuce, and it tastes like it's raw lettuce, and it feels like it's raw lettuce. They actually dip those lettuce leaves in boiling water for a few seconds to kill any kind of surface contaminant that may or may not still be on there. And I don't know the exact amount of time, so I can't give you, but I've seen them do it. And for real, dude, like even if you're gonna eat the veggies raw, it never hurts to dip them in boiling water, not simmering, but boiling water for a quick minute, just to sterilize that there surface. And Andre coming in, foods commonly associated with botulism, home canned foods, low acid vegetables like asparagus, green beans, beets, and corn are particularly susceptible. And then homemade garlic and oil, that actually is the one for my circle of people, is the most risky because it seems so easy to make garlic infused oil, but it's actually not. And let's see here, baked potatoes in foil. If cooked and stored improperly, foil wrapped potatoes can create an environment where botulism can thrive. Oh no, that's good to know. We've served a lot of potential botulism at roller derby events. Oops. And then honey. Honey is a known source of botulism spores that can cause infants very bad problems. Which is why you're not supposed to feed an infant anything with honey in it until I think they're like 2 years old. Although I am not a parent, so people who like have been or are parents probably know really what the rule is. But I do know that honey is a no-no for babies. I do know that. And exactly, Shock, vegetables grow in the dirt, so it never hurts to maybe rinse them off real good and maybe dip them in some boiling water just for a second or two. And Terry coming in with roasted broccoli sandwiches. A popular method involves roasting broccoli florets with olive oil, garlic, and salt until tender and slightly browned, then using them as a topping on toasted bread. This approach is used in recipes featuring provolone cheese, a tangy red wine vinegar sauce, or a special sauce made from mayonnaise and herbs. Everything on that sounds good, but put together, it just doesn't sound good to me. But apparently that's a version of a broccoli sandwich. And Elaine, what is it? Broccoli sandwich? Yeah, I don't know. Well, theirs was a broccoli and sausage sandwich, and I would like to think that it's the sausage that caused the problem, but the article was insisting that the broccoli was the issue. So, and isn't it the water that's dirty? Well, yeah, I think sometimes it does become systemic because the water was dirty. The water, but at the same time though, it never hurts to just kill the whatever weird thing might be on the outside. I don't know, dude. I mean, dip it in that boiling water, make it a little better. And roadkill left for several days can harbor botulism. Yeah, I don't doubt that, Terry. How about we just leave the roadkill on the road if it's been there for several days? Unless you've watched it get killed, I don't know if I want that. And let's see here. Okay, so Andre, commercially processed foods that might have botulism, cheese sauce, fermented or smoked fish, improperly handled or stored fish, especially those fermented or smoked, carrot juice, unrefrigerated salsa, and certain traditionally prepared foods can also be potential sources. Right, yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm never going to have to worry about the carrot juice because that's gross and I don't do that. And there we go. Steamed broccoli swimming in a lagoon of cheese. There's your answer for a broccoli sandwich. And stupid broccoli on stupid broccoli sandwiches. Whoever heard of such nonsense? Exactly. And yeah, good point, Shock. Even rice can be toxic if reheated too often. Heating it again might kill a bacterium, but the toxins that the bacteria excreted while it was still living will remain. Right. Honestly, Andre, your question is valid. Andre asked, so if you use Botox, do you have more resistance to the toxin from botulism? And honestly, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I feel like you should. And Kenny from the Cove, broccoli sandwich, what's next? Cauliflower ice cream? Well, Kenny from the Cove, funny you should mention that. Have you been watching the King of the Hill reboot? Because Bobby Hill in the King of the Hill reboot is the owner and head chef of a restaurant, and his restaurant is Asian Texas German / Asian fusion, and his special dessert is sauerkraut ice cream. Sauerkraut ice cream, my friend. So yeah, cauliflower ice cream could be next. And Verity used to love broccoli, bacon, and cheddar cheese omelets. Oh no, that would be good. That would be good. And Elaine, I'm getting nauseous. And coming in with the answer to his own question, nope. It looks like wait, where did it go? Using the Botox for cosmetic or medicinal purposes does not make you more resistant to botulism. In fact, repeated and high doses of the botulism toxin can potentially lead to development of neutralizing antibodies, which would cause the treatment to become less effective over time. This phenomenon, known as secondary non-response, can also impact the effectiveness of the botulinum toxin for other medical conditions. I'm very confused about what other medical conditions does botulism cause besides botulism poisoning. And Andre, we have a garlic festival in Gilroy, and they make garlic ice cream. Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they do. In fact, I know a guy who makes cheddar cheese flavored ice cream. He got a request for it from a Filipino community center or cultural center or a Filipino community group. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They commissioned him to create a cheddar cheese ice cream. So he spent a lot of time, energy, and money trying to make the best cheddar cheese ice cream, right? And so at first he was trying to be all fancy pants, and he got some cheddar cheese powder from the Tillamook dairy. And for those of you who don't know, Tillamook is a pretty famous cheese maker on the West Coast. They're out of Oregon, out of Tillamook, Oregon, as it were. And they're basically the high end cheese. They're sort of like the West Coast version of Vermont's Cabot cheese. It's like good stuff. Anyway, he's tried a lot of sources, and exactly, spoiler alert coming in from Shock, it turns out the best flavoring for cheddar cheese ice cream was the stupid cheese packet, because all the ones that he tried that were expensive were utter failures. They tasted awful. They tasted like mold and rot, or just like it was funk. It was just bad. And so out of frustration, he was like, forget about it. Screw it. I'm just going to try the Blue Box Kraft mac and cheese packet of that bright fluorescent orange awfulness, that powder. Out of frustration, was born the success. Yes, that was the best tasting. That undeniably across the board, everyone agreed that was the cheddar flavor that needed to be infused with the ice cream. It's the perfect cheddar flavor. So there you go. Kraft does it again. And so if you give a Botox person botulism anti-venom, will their face drop? I don't know. And Tillamook Cheese Factory does make really good ice cream. Yes, the Tillamook Dairy, they have really high-end products. I don't get their ice cream because they only come in like half-gallon containers, and I don't buy big ones like that. But they're really good ice cream. So for sure, if you have an opportunity to find yourself find yourself having an opportunity, you could use that opportunity for an opportunity to buy some Tillamook ice cream. What the hell? Yeah. All right. And sauerkraut ice cream. Gall dung it, Bobby. What were you thinking exactly? And Terry and Scotland, have I ever seen a baby pigeon? No, because baby pigeons are up high in pigeon nests, or in the rock. They haven't fledged yet. Have you seen a baby crow? Have you seen a baby robin outside of their nest? No. I don't know why people keep thinking that not seeing baby pigeons is weird. Because to me, it's pretty normal. Like, they're in the nest until they can fly, and then when they can fly, they don't look like a baby anymore. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? And actually, pigeons I don't know about in your neck of the woods, but in the Pacific Northwest, the pigeons actually are rock doves. They're not real, true pigeons. They're rock doves. You can tell because rock doves have pink feet and pigeons have yellow feet, which I always thought was weird because it would have been easier to remember that pigeons have pink, but they don't. And, Elaine, you ran out of your kettle popcorn. You need kettle popcorn. And let's see here. Andre, as a kid, I remember going to the Tillamook factory and had the ice cream there. Oh, and I'll bet it was super good there because it's transporting ice cream that usually ruins it. So having it fresh from the source, makes me almost want to drive down there and have some. And exactly, Andre, on the West Coast. Okay, so in California too, I was just speaking from a Puget Sound area perspective, but it sounds like this may be a West Coast thing. What we call pigeons are usually rock doves, meaning they live in rocks or building nooks. Exactly. And let's see here. Yeah, if you have the opportunity, too big for a t-shirt. And Andre, you're right. Pigeons are actually a little bit bigger than you would anticipate. The pigeons I have seen in the Pacific Northwest, and I've noticed them because their yellow feet are very noticeable, are way bigger than they're way bigger than I thought they would be. And let's see here. Yes, I see them when they take their first flight and bathe in the bird bath. Exactly. Right. Their first flight. You love your crows and your ravens. That's so awesome. I love my crows. I don't have too many ravens. We do have ravens in my area, but they don't visit my house. But the crows that visit my house, I love them so much. And I'd like to think that they love me. They have used my house, they have used my front yard as a nesting space for a few years in a row. However, last season, I don't know what happened. But unfortunately, their baby did not survive. I am 99% sure that my cats had nothing to do with it because the crows are not angry at my cats, but the baby did end up in my driveway, and then this season they didn't choose my yard as a nesting area anymore. So I'm really bummed about that. And let's see here. Kenny is saying, two as yet not made ice cream flavors I would roll the dice on: Irish coffee flavored ice cream or Guinness flavored ice cream. I feel as though both of those have been done before. I mean, not like maybe on a mainstream, but I swear I've heard of Guinness ice cream. Then again, I might have only been thinking of a Guinness float. Oh wait, here we go. York. All right, maybe not. Shock is saying York Castle used to make Guinness ice cream. It was nice, but fairly subtle. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I swear to goodness that I have. Yeah, I swear I'd heard of Guinness ice cream. And Verity, 50% of young crows do not survive their first year. Yeah, this one, I truly don't know what happened to it. I just know that it was in the middle of my driveway when I came home from work one day, and I was horrified, and so, and I already told you guys about this, so you guys already know I'm a weirdo. I came home, I saw the crow, I kind of freaked out, and so then I, took the crow out of my driveway, and I brought it up into my yard between the two trees that, I don't know which tree holds the nest, but it's one of two trees in my yard. And so I put it down on the ground between the two trees, and like, I got a bunch of little leaves and fir boughs and kind of made a little wreath around it. So it was like at a funeral, so that the peoples could come see it and give their last respects. And I know that crows aren't the peoples, but we'll just call them that for now, because I'm a weirdo. And anyway, yeah. Anyway, I felt really bad and I cried. And it's been a bad year for bird flu. Yeah, I have no idea. And Trail Dust, you guys already know I'm a weirdo. Yep, t-shirt. That's a good one, actually. You guys already know I'm a weirdo. It's true, though. I did. I did put the crow in a little... I don't know why, because I wanted to let the parents know that I cared. I wanted to let the parents know I wasn't going to run over their baby with my car. I wanted the parents to know that they could take the baby and do what they wanted or whatever. I don't know. I mean, if you're pointing and laughing at me right now, I don't blame you. But, you know, I do. I've got a huge heart for animals. I do. Which is sort of counterintuitive because I'm cooking some chicken soup right now as we speak from the bones of a bird. And by the way, y'all, I have, yeah, exactly, I did. I tried to show respect for it because that was just disrespectful. In the middle of my driveway, I don't know who or what or how it got killed. It might have fallen out of the nest. I don't think so because it looked like it should have been able to fledge. But I was really annoyed that whatever killed it didn't eat it. Which is why I'm pretty sure it wasn't my cats, because they generally eat what they kill. And then also the birds weren't angry at my cat, so I'm pretty sure. Because I know, crows know if a cat kills one of their friends. And those crows do not like that cat. And those crows will tell their friends not to like that cat. So if it had been my cats, I would know by now. And C Honda, good to see you. All right, you're coming in just in time. We've just got a couple minutes left for before we get our Lono listening break. And right now we've been talking about food, and now we're talking about crows and how much, and well, we're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about food and crows and botulism. Do you like broccoli, C Honda? If you don't like broccoli, I've got an excuse for you not to eat it anymore. A guy in Italy died of botulism from his broccoli. And so now if you don't like broccoli, you can tell people broccoli kills people. And by the way, C Honda, aloha tataro, and Penel, if she's here, I don't think she is. Aloha tatarine. And I like broccoli too, C Honda. But have you ever heard of a broccoli sandwich? Because it was a broccoli sandwich that killed him. A broccoli sandwich. What the? Oh, whoop! I didn't say that. You didn't hear me say that. Nobody heard that word. And your parrot eats chicken bones and chicken too. Yep. From what I hear, actually, though, crow actually tastes better than chicken. Apparently crow is really, really tasty. And let's see here. You are right. A crow would absolutely eat a chicken bone too. You are 1000%. And Broken Soul, good to see you. And crow is greasy and horrible. Broken Soul. I want to know how you know this. And I've heard that it tastes really good. So I'm very curious how you know this. And deer eat steak and will demand it at Horn Point. I didn't know that, but I have heard that the squirrels in California, in certain areas of California, are starting to become carnivorous. And they're starting to not just eat, they're starting to, well, they're becoming carnivorous. Well, not carnivorous, I guess they're becoming more omnivores. They don't just eat leaves and nuts and seeds anymore. They're actually eating, like, you know, mice and rats and things like that. And deer eat birds from time to time, or bones. Yeah, I've heard that. And nobody heard that word. Yes. Lots of t-shirts today. And speed kills, but so does broccoli, I guess, man. You must be poor to make a sandwich out of broccoli. I guess. I don't know, man. I mean, in Italy, it was an Italian sandwich. I'd like to think it was good. You know, Italy, like, boasts its food culture. I mean, a broccoli and sausage sandwich sounds like it. It doesn't sound like it would be good, actually. But, I mean... And horses and deer will predate eggs and babies from ground nesting birds, right? Yeah, that makes sense. And let's see here. Okay, so Broken Soul, lesson learned. As an adolescent, got caught shooting a crow. Grandfather made me clean, cook, and eat it. Greasier than duck, gamier than boar. Okay. All right. I appreciate your input on this more than the random book that I read about the people the one person. All right. This is good to know. And not all of Italy can be good at food. I agree, Andre, especially with this broccoli sandwich death. And crows are considered edible and nutritious, containing high levels of protein, calcium, iron, and various vitamins. The meat is leaner than chicken, lower in cholesterol, and can taste similar to chicken or turkey, though it may be slightly gamier and tougher, especially in older birds. It has been consumed in emergencies and even had a bit of a craze in Oklahoma in the 1930s, though it is not commonly eaten today. Interesting. I am very curious about that crow eating craze in Oklahoma. I'm going to have to make note of this. And does Lono have a song about broccoli? No, not to my knowledge. Oklahoma, crow, 1930s eating. All right, I'm going to look that up because that's really weird. And all right, you guys, so Trail Dust asking for a Lono tune in his own way because it is now 3 minutes past the Lono listening break time. So it is time to do yourself a favor and just relax a little bit. And why don't we just all go to the Pono?
Okay, let's go. Tu lady down counter the kai, hoi kahale kahola e pai, again ukulele, play it at the show. Let's all go to the Pono. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Well, let's all go to the Pono. Don't hurt anyone cause it's a sin. Love Keokua is the way to begin. Empty out the heifer, let lake a lever. Let's all go to the Pono. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's all go to the Pono. Let's go. Let's all go to the Pono. Let's go. Let's all go to the Pono. Malama your ohana and malama your friends. Malama yourself and malama again. Just got a bowl, I got a show. Let's all go to the Pono. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's all go to the Pono. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Well, let's all go to the Pono.
All right, there we go. So, did Spam take over eating crow? Well, I don't know. Was Spam around during the Depression? I know that Spam was absolutely around during World War II, but was it a thing in the 30s? I don't really know. And, alrighty, but you know what? This is what I do know. I do know that when it comes to crow, or chicken, or Spam, especially Spam, this guy right here, he'd eat it all. For those of you who don't know, that's Leo. That's Leo. Hey, Pussycat, you around? Leo was in the house last night, and I took a little picture of Leo on my desk. And if you're ever wondering what it is that I am looking at when I sit at my desk to do this stream or whatever, pretty much this is what I'm looking at, minus the kitty cat. That's my front door wide open. That's my leather chair. That's my window with the Venetian blinds that need replaced. That's the cat tree. You can see on the far right, those cupboards. I found them on the streets. So, yeah, there we go. That's my messy desk. That's my messy house. It's pretty much actually about one quarter of my house is in view right here on this picture. And it's a great picture of Leo. But Leo was very much annoyed when I took that picture, and he eventually, shortly thereafter, left my desk. And so, no more pictures, because I was going to keep taking pictures of him. And, yes, exactly. Leo drinking a lovely cup of catnip tea. It's not actually catnip tea, it is just water, but you are correct. That is the water for the cats, which is why the catch basin is a little bit gross. The cats, they have their big fresh water every day changed in there. But gotta also include the table water, because if they're on the table, they can't possibly go 10 feet to the east, to the west, to get their bowl of water. Let's see here. In Texas, calling someone an Okie is still an insult. It's very true, and I love knowing that. Because basically, I tell people who are from Dallas, Fort Worth, that they're just might as well be from Oklahoma. And they don't like me for that. Because being an Okie in Texas is the worst thing you can possibly be. And thank you, Verity. It is very cozy and very warm. In fact, right now, right now my air conditioning's on, so it's like 71 degrees. But earlier today, it was like 78 degrees in my house, which is why I turned my AC on. All right, so let's see here. And but yeah, actually, Shock, I'm not really sure what the animosity between Oklahoma and Texas is, why it did what it did, but I still love calling people from North Texas like, well, you might as well be from Oklahoma. They don't like that. They really don't like that. And Kenny, it stems from the Oklahoma University of Texas rivalry. Oh, so no good reason then. And well, no, I mean, yeah, I know that Okie in California is a totally different slur. If I called someone, well, first off, I would never call anybody in Oklahoma or in California an Okie. But that is a totally different slur. When I use the term Okie for someone who lives in Texas, it's only to piss off that person from Texas. Because I know that it gets under their skin. That's the only that's the only reason why I do it. And let's see here. Yeah, they used to have signs in the Central Valley of California in the 30s. No dogs, no blacks, no Okies at movie theaters and restaurants. Yeah, I'm not surprised. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there was another... I wouldn't be surprised if the list was limited to those. I wouldn't be surprised if there was also a prohibition on a chink in the armor, so to speak. You know the slur I'm referring to for Asian folk. I'd be willing to bet that that was probably on some signs as well. And I'm quick to tell Okies that wherever they're from, wherever they're from, I'm just a suburb of Dallas. Right, but see, I say if you're from Dallas-Fort Worth, you might as well be from Oklahoma. And Terry, hey Okie, if you see Arky, tell him Tex is out in California picking up prunes. But, alright, so, enough picking on Kenny. Because Kenny has something to brag about, y'all. And it's enough picking on Kenny. Now it's time to brag about Kenny. Kenny, he went and bought himself something purty. Now, I don't know how much it cost. I'm guessing like $5,873 and 56 cents. But I could be wrong. But what I do know is this is his brand new hat. And it's a fancy hat. And you got to think to yourself, well, now, why would anyone need a hat like that? You got to wonder to yourself, what on earth would you wear with a hat like that? Well, this is what you'd wear with a hat like that. Do you not think that that outfit needed a hat like that? I think that outfit needed a hat exactly like that. And not only is that a hat that he bought for himself because it's fancy, it's custom made. Custom made, dude. Check it out. It's got his name in it. It's a beaver hat, Kenneth Casey, and signed by Tom Hurt. Now, I don't know who that guy is, but he's apparently a maker of fine beaver hats. And apparently, Kenny saw this hat in a movie called Tombstone. Now, I've never seen the movie called Tombstone, but apparently Kenny saw that hat and said, I like that hat. Who made this hat? I have an outfit that I need to wear with this hat. And so he got in touch with that guy because that guy is the guy who made the hat in the movie. And he got in touch with the actual movie hat making guy and said, you need to make me a fine hat. So I guess they took their measurements and they agreed upon a price. And 12 or so weeks later, Kenny's got himself a fine looking hat to go with his fine looking outfit. And so now Kenny, I think he's just ready to ride off into Texas, not Oklahoma, not California. He's just going to be in Texas. But yeah, there you go. Kenny's new hat, which is a pretty awesome hat. Has anybody here seen the movie Tombstone? And Kenny, can you remind me who it was? Who was it that wore the hat in the, was it Phil Collins? No, not Phil Collins. Was it Phil Collins in the movie Tombstone that wore that hat? I think I meant Clint Eastwood. Was Clint Eastwood even in that movie? How the hell did I get Phil Collins? Oh, jeez. Phil Collins was not in Tombstone. Sam Elliott. There we go. See, that makes so much more sense. Sam Elliott. I could see Sam Elliott in a hat like that. In fact, you and Sam Elliott kind of have the same face shape. I can totally see. Yeah. Okay, there you go. So if all y'all, Andre, Val Kilmer was in that movie, C. Honda, yeah, I like that movie. E-Music, it was too long ago when I saw Tombstone. Right, and so, either way, yeah, if you thought that hat looked familiar, it was Tombstone. That's where you saw it. And I want to see the cowboy movie with Phil Collins in it. Yeah, I do too. And oh wait, you know what? I think I've seen. Wait. I think I've seen that movie. Was one of them like? Yeah, he. I think I've seen that movie. If I remember correctly, it was in that movie that I learned what laudanum was. Because doesn't one of them have a nasty laudanum addiction? I want to say it's Val Kilmer's character. But I also know that I make things up like nobody's business. And Terry in Scotland, I have a sunbody hat with a 6-inch brim made of Guatemalan palm. It loves water, and I hold it under the shower occasionally. Nice. I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah, I've heard that phrase, but I don't even know what that is. Is arguably the most famous quote from the movie Tombstone. Awesome. Okay. Often attributed to Doc Holliday and delivered to Johnny Ringo. Other notable quotes include Say When, also from Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp's Hell's Coming With Me. These lines, along with many others, have become iconic and ingrained in pop culture. The only phrase of those three is say when. I've only heard the phrase say when. And let's see here. So laudanum, yeah, Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp. Nope, Doc Holliday. Okay, yeah, all right. So all y'all don't remember that movie enough to know, but okay, I guess I'm thinking of the same movie as what I think I'm thinking of the same movie as what you guys are talking about. Wow. You know, you'd think talking online would get easier as I do it, but you know, here we are. In the movie, the Wyatt Earp's wife had the laudanum addiction. Oh, really? I thought one of the other ones did too. Val Kilmer played Doc Holliday in that. Okay. And I really have visions of Val Kilmer being the one on the junk. That film, you keep talking about it. I do not. That film, you keep talking about it. I do not think that is the film you think it is. Good crossover shock. That was funny. All right, so so we said that we were going to talk about Kenny. We also said that we were going to talk about Pacola T. And Pacola T, she's not here right now, but that's okay because she news that we were going to talk about her like this. So Pacola T, she's out doing stuff today, but yesterday she went and saw Pat Sajak. Pat Sajak live. She saw him live. See, there she is. Her and Mr. Pacola T. Very, very, very nice. Very, very nice man he is. And look, they're watching a movie. Or no, it's not a movie. I lied. Not a movie. It was a play. Is a play, and apparently Joe Moore, who's a newscaster for Honolulu, is starring with Pat Sajak in Prescription Murder. Now, we have to wonder what the prescription... Was it really murder? Or did they give a prescription to murder somebody I don't really know, but I knew that laudanum was often used for consumptives. And so, okay, so that might be why I think that laudanum was what one of the guys was using, because Doc Holliday was suffering from tuberculosis. All right, so there we go. And Andre, historical sources suggest that Doc Holliday did develop a dependency on laudanum. He reportedly used it to manage the pain and symptoms associated with his long-standing battle with tuberculosis. Laudanum, a highly addictive concoction of opium and alcohol, was commonly used as a painkiller and cough suppressant during the 19th century and was widely available without prescription. That is exactly what I remember. And Pat and Jay have been acting together almost every year at the Manoa Playhouse. Interesting. Well, is this the Manoa Playhouse right here, eMusic? Because this is, I don't remember, she told me what it was, but I don't remember. Oh no, this is the Hawaii Theater, she says. And it was slated for demolition, but then they decided not to, and they restored it. So there you go. That was what Miss Bacola T has been up to with her husband, and watching a play with Joe Moore and Pat Sajak. And I had no idea that Pat Sajak was a regular on the islands, and I definitely had no idea that Pat Sajak was an actual actor, and I definitely had no idea that he was a play actor in Hawaii. So weird. What do you know? We're learning all sorts of things today. Thomas the Turtle, good to see you. And Joe, not Jay. Oh, did I say Jay? Oops. And let's see here. Puzzy Cat. Hey everybody, love the Leo picture, but I'm having issues tonight, so please excuse me for not chatting, but you're listening. Good to know that you're here, Puzzy Cat. And let's see here. Tuberculosis, you're totally right, Shock. They didn't have a cure for that until later, and it's still actually a particularly tricky treatment to go through even to this day. And tuberculosis, despite the fact that there was a round of vaccines that got rid of it for a long time, tuberculosis has come back. And in Washington, we actually, in the last year or so, we had to actually arrest a lady who refused treatment, and because she was just spreading it around, and so she had to be arrested and against her will treated for the tuberculosis, and because it's a long-term treatment and they couldn't trust her to take her medicine once she was released from the hospital, she had to spend her whole treatment protocol in the hospital, because tuberculosis is a nightmare. When I worked in the hospital, the last thing that they wanted was an outbreak of tuberculosis. You can only you have to have specialized rooms to treat with them with negative air pressure, and there's only so many rooms in the hospital, in hospitals that are generally built like that. So once you have those rooms filled, you're at capacity, and it becomes a problem. So a big outbreak of tuberculosis is basically every flippin' hospital's nightmare. And yeah, you got to get a TB test every 4 years because you work with kids. Yeah, not at all surprised, Andre. Not at all surprised. I know that when I when I worked at the hospital, there was no question about it. I kind of have to laugh at all with this whole COVID thing with the nurses refusing their vaccine and not being allowed to work. It's like, well, what did you think? When you work in a hospital, the hospital decides for you what vaccines you get. Your employment is dependent on that. I'm not suggesting that mandatory vaccines should be for everybody, but when you work in healthcare, the hospital that you work for decides what vaccines you are going to get. You have no choice in the matter. Your only choice is, do you want to continue to work here or not? If you want to, you're getting this, much like in the Army. And yeah, I got jabbed so many times. Flu vaccines, tuberculosis tests before the vaccines, etc., etc. And yeah, the hospital has to know its risk parameters. Absolutely, absolutely. I recall finding out I was in the waiting room with someone who had TB. Oh my God, eMusic, that is a nightmare. That's just as bad as finding out. Well, actually, no, it's worse. I was going to say, it's just about as finding out you were in a waiting room with someone with measles, because measles is also very airborne and lasts for a while. But I actually have had multiple measles vaccines, whereas the tuberculosis one, I don't, no. And yeah, Verity, your mom was given the vax as a kid and then tested positive for TB for the rest of her life. Yeah, I think that they have a different one now that you don't test positive for the rest of your life. The vaccine, it's no longer that big scar that left a circle on your arm. It's different now. And yeah, the measles does destroy a lot of stuff. Actually, a lot of viruses can destroy your immune system. But yeah, measles is particularly problematic. And you got an MMR booster a few months ago because measles is in a thing. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And hey, we've got Zachary Alman here saying aloha, Mad Statter. Good to see you, Zachary, excuse me. Yeah, so right now we're talking about infectious diseases. But what I really wanted to show you guys today was something that I'm guessing some of you have seen, especially if you live on the island. But oh my God, y'all, the the South Shore swells. Whoo, boy, howdy, have they been coming in? And did you see what happened to the boat? Did y'all see what happened to the Atlantis shuttle? I don't remember what the boat itself is called, but there is, if you're unfamiliar, on Oahu, there's this submarine adventure called Atlantis, and you get to ride in a little submarine out in the underwater, etc. And it's, it's a commercial endeavor. But in order to get to the submarine launching point, you have to take a shuttle boat out to the water where the submarine launches. Well, one of their shuttles, luckily, was empty except for 2 crew members, got caught in the swells. And at first, I didn't understand what this guy was doing and why he kept turning into the water, but then I realized how close he was to shore, and I understood why he did what he did. Anyway, did y'all see this?
Oh, the fucker running away. Oh, shit. Oh, they're done. Bro, they're done. Holy shit. Oh. Oh, bro, look at them, look at them. Bruh. Oh, bro. Bro. Imagine being in the lineup right
Look
there.
at them.
Fuck.
No, they're in Kiwalo's lineup.
Dude, they're inside Chihuahuas, bro.
Okay, wait, Jay, I gotta film this. I'll call you back.
Straight out,
Nah,
bro, they,
Look
bro.
at that, Jay. They're in the channel.
Bro, they would run aground, bro. They're done, bro.
They're done, dude.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't look like it.
Bro, somebody better call.
Yeah! Get it! Oh, oh my goodness! No! Oh! Oh! Oh my God! Holy fuck! That thing's fucking done. Wow. Boy, there's a person fucking right there. Wow. Who do you fucking call right now?
A tugboat ain't even taking that thing out. Oh, wow. Everybody going viral.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It did end up on the shore break. It absolutely, it is. Yeah. It did end up on the shore break. And shock, I agree. It's so funny reading the people online who really know nothing about ocean anything. They're just like, oh, that captain's going to get fired. And I was like, oh, no, he is not. He did everything he could. And I am surprised that thing didn't roll over. In the way he... The way he maneuvered that big boat in the circumstances that he found himself in, absolutely, that captain did a really, really good job. And I apologize, you guys. I know that we generally try to keep this live stream family friendly, and obviously the sound that came with those videos had a few F-bombs in it. But I really feel like those were F-bombs were deserved. And it looked like he came in hot. No, I think he just got caught. It sounds like he just got caught up in the swell. And he did come in hot in the sense that the surf brought him in hot. But I don't think he's even supposed to like be in that basin. I don't think the boat belongs there at all. Like, that was not the destination. That I don't think. I mean, maybe at the Cavallo boat harbor, maybe that's where it was headed for, but obviously it was not near enough the harbor. All I know is that when I saw that that first video, I was convinced that boat was going to absolutely just roll over. Yeah, and so, but yeah, it did eventually end up banging against the shore, and Kewala, or see, I want to say the. All I know is, yeah, Picola T, lesson, never turn your back on the sea, especially around high surf. Well, yeah, except for Picola T, did you see this guy? Let me go back to that one. Did you see this? Hold on, I'll mute everything.
This is what city leaders had in mind when they planned this redevelopment. A place for the young.
There we go. Did you see the guy on the left? He's just asleep on the shore break.
Yeah! Get it!
Dude's just sitting there sleeping. Not even knowing all what's going on behind him. Dude is just taking a snooze. Which I think is so funny. Oh, whoops. Here. There we go. No. Did you see the guy sleeping on the shore break? He's just sleeping there. Back to the ocean, taking a nap, while the world comes crashing down behind him. And let's see here. Yes, exactly, Andre. He did good to get his boat vertical and not let the wave hit him in the side for long. If he had, it would have capsized. Absolutely. And I think for a minute there, it looked like it was on the verge of capsizing. That captain did a really good job of keeping himself. I mean, like, the boat didn't capsize, so there you go. You know, and from what I've heard, yeah, exactly, Verity. Hey, this boat's snaking my wave. Yeah, and I tried to grab a couple of news clips in regards to this, what am I trying to say? My clip grab failed me. I was not able to get any of the news clips. However, on the news clips that I watched, because I watched a few of them, they were really concerned and very thankful that no surfers were hurt in this. Because if you might not have noticed, and some of the videos, these ones might not have been the best ones, but there were surfers out there, because that's a surf spot. And so there were surfers out there when that boat came in hot. And so, you know, for real, that boat did actually snake someone's wave. And right now, they've determined that the boat is not leaking any oil or fuel. So the boat is in pretty good condition. And Kenny from the Cove, I'll see you later. Thanks so much for hanging out, and thanks for sharing your hat story with us. And But back to the boat. It's going to be kept, you know, I don't know if they're going to keep it aground and do a Coast Guard examination of it, or if they're going to tow it to a dock and then do the Coast Guard examination of it. It's obviously not going to be back in service for the tourism operation for a while until it gets recertified by the U.S. Coast Guard as seaworthy. But from what they can tell so far, there's no leaking and no damage seeping from the boat. However, they are very concerned that as it came in over the reef, that it damaged the reef. And if it damaged the reef along the shore break, they're concerned for two reasons. First off, obviously, it's the reef and the wildlife, and that's not good. But also, that is a known and established surfing spot. And the surfing spot is created by that reef. And so if that reef has been destroyed, it's going to change the way the waves break. It's going to change the way the waves hit the shore. It's going to change whether or not you can even surf that point. And it's not, I don't think, I mean, obviously the surfers are concerned about this, whether or not they can continue to surf it, but ultimately it's going to change the water flow to the shore, which all the previous engineering of the water flow to the shore will now be sort of a moot point because it's all changed now. So there still is some potential real problems with that situation, and they're examining it because, you know, like I said, this only just happened yesterday, so they only know, they only know so much. I don't think they've gotten any, divers or drones or whatever out to the reef yet to examine the damage. All of the newscasts that I was looking for in regards to that, none of them had seemed to have that answer. All they were saying is, we're concerned about this. This is a major concern now. This is another concern for what just happened. And so, but yeah, it's going to cost big money. It's going to cost them a lot of money for sure. And Shock saying, I think he gunned it on full rudder at the crest of that wave. Oh, absolutely. He definitely gunned it at the crest of that wave. Couldn't tell you if he had full rudder or not, but yeah, he gunned it at that. I don't even know how to, the only boat I know how to maneuver on the water is my kayak, which is very different than a 50-foot vessel with an engine or two. But even I know, what you have to do to not capsize and get in the right position. And yeah, I think that's exactly what he did. And the Department of Land and Natural Resources will charge them after a while. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that the Atlantis tour operators right now are double checking their insurance policies and coverages and rescheduling some tours and revamping what's going to be going on for the next few months in that particular on that particular ride or attraction, as it were. So either way, I thought it was just it's awful. The damage that may or may not be there is awful, but those videos are just heart-stopping, and I don't know, I just wanted to share with y'all, like, in case you hadn't heard about it, this is what's happening over in Hawaii this this particular day or this weekend. So there you go. And let's see here. What else do we have today? And I think what I'm going to tell you, and DLNR recently charged another ship for damage. Yeah, I'm as well they should. However, now this is me being devil's advocate, and I definitely don't know what I'm talking about. There's another t-shirt for you. Considering the context of some boat groundings versus this one, like when you're taking a yacht into an area that you're not supposed to be in, and then you do damage, you absolutely need to be held accountable. In this particular situation, it almost seems as though it was sort of like an act of God. Like, it wasn't like the captain was trying to go there, you know? And so I'm wondering how much, I mean, obviously there's accountability to be had, but maybe the ship was in the, right. Yeah. There's a lot of circumstances. I'm just wondering if in this circumstance, if the captain did everything right, and there's a lot of ifs, there are a lot of variables here, but if the captain did everything he could have to prevent this, will his fine be as much as though he egregiously chose to do it? You know, and how you determine that, obviously, that, you know, I'm in no position to judge, but I kind of hope that, first off, he truly did do everything to make sure that he, or she, actually, pardon my language, I certainly hope that the captain did whatever they needed to do and aren't at fault at all in any way. And if that does prove to be true, I do hope that they're given a little bit of lenience in regards to some kind of fine. But, you know, obviously I don't know what I'm talking about, so. And Trail Dust, you have to rewatch this. Had to step away for a moment to cast a ring. Oh yeah, dude, if you didn't see the boat part, you definitely need to see the boat part, because as Elaine mentioned, South Shore waves are huge and kind of unusual, and they are huge this year. And it is kind of unusual. A few years ago, the summertime South Shore swells were kind of lame. This year, it seems like the swells are, quite swelly. All right, so one last thing, and let's see here. Rick, oh hey Rick, good to see you. I saw statewide South Shore high surf warnings were issued. Absolutely, Rick. And did you see what happened to the boat? You're on the... Rick, if you saw what happened to the boat, you'd know why. Oh, you're back home now and the stream is almost done. Yes, exactly. But, here, just so you guys... I don't know if we're going to watch it one more time, y'all. Rick, Darlene, did you see this? Boop. This happened yesterday on this... This happened yesterday on the South Shore. And then you probably saw where the boat ended up. So yeah, totally crazy waves. And then this is the real heart stopper though. This one right here. This is just, oh my God, look at that. Just boo, almost sideways. Almost sideways. Boosha, boosha. Yeah. Do you like my sound effects? I'm sure that's exactly what it sounded like. Almost sideways. Almost sideways. Boosha, boosha, boosha. That's exactly what it sounded like there. And Andre, one witness, a surf photographer, said the boat didn't have enough power to get in front of the wave, causing the captain to lose all steering. Atlantis Adventures stated that the shuttle boat is a Coast Guard certified. It undergoes regular inspections, and its captains are trained and Coast Guard certified. The company is working with authorities to safely remove the boat and inspect it before it returns to service. The U.S. Coast Guard stated the reason for the grounding remains under investigation. So, there you go. And, Terry in Scotland is saying, I just posted a photo of me, I'm assuming he means him, in his hat on my Facebook. Okay, well, I will have to go check that out. But alas, we have 1 minute left, so there's no time for me to check that out. But Darlene, oh, that's not good at all. It could wreck the reef too. Yes, that is actually what we were just talking about right before you guys popped in, was they're worried that they're worried about the reef for the reasons are twofold. First off, they're worried about any kind of reef damage for wildlife reasons, but they're also worried about how any kind of reef damage might change the break formation at that surf spot. Obviously, the surfers want to keep the break formation as it is, but even regardless of the surfing needs, a break formation and how it hits the shoreline that has been one way for a long time, the shoreline gets developed with that in mind. And now if the break changes, like, things could be chaotic. But Andre coming in, at least no passengers were on the boat, just the crew, so maybe it was light and did not do too much damage. Yeah, I think from what it looks like, the damage that the boat has was most, from other video clips I've seen, the damage that the boat has looks like it's actually was caused when it hit the seawall, when it actually like came to shore. Because right now, I don't have a picture of it, and I tried anyway. It's like on, like you can go from the sidewalk to the boat right now, kind of thing. It is on the seawall. Ooh, it is on the seawall. And so, and it looks like the damage is basically from bashing into the seawall, not necessarily from going over the reef. So I'm hoping that as it was going over the reef, it was at the highest point on the wave, you know what I'm saying? But who knows? We will eventually find out. All right, you guys, it is the bottom of the hour. I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight and making this chat stream so much fun, even though we were talking about the poisons of broccoli and how broccoli will kill you. But that's okay, I still like broccoli. So, let's see here. There is no Andy Bumatai on Tuesday, which means the next time we have a opportunity to see each other is on Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time. And that will be the next Chatter with Statter show. And then after that, on Saturday, we will hopefully be watching Chief of War episodes 3 and 4. For those of you who have not seen episode 3, oh my god, so many plot twists. I did not see so much of this coming. All right. Thanks so much, mods, for hanging out. I'm so glad that I don't think we needed to use you. Thank you so much, chatters, for chattering. And thank you, Picola T and Kenny, even though Kenny is not here, for providing fantastic fodder for our phenomenal talking. I was trying to think of an F word that I can say online. Anyway, all right, you guys. See you later. See you soon. Hope you had a great weekend.